Live from the car. About to hit the gym, y'all. I hope y'all hear me 'cause I'm about to hit the gym. And let me make sure I turn my ringtones off. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great Saturday. It's the weekend, baby. Move your booty out the way. Remember, anyway, y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about, but some of y'all from the Dallas Fort Worth area remember that. I got my headscarf on again, y'all. I'm fixing to go work out. I just FYI, y'all. I know love. What is it? Life After Lockup was on last night, and I know that um I have to watch it live. I'm gonna try to watch it live tonight, or I'm gonna try to watch it Sunday night. So Life After Lockup, I'm gonna try to watch that live tonight. I'm gonna try. So yeah, I'm gonna try. Anyway, just like the video states, I'm gonna get into it because I'm trying to go to the gym. Y'all got my little holiday sweater on, my holiday sweater on, and I got to work out, and then I got some activities to go. Not activity, but a place to go with the kids. But yeah, I'm here to talk about lessons I've learned from breakup. Okay, so full disclosure, for those of you who don't know me, who don't know my channel, I had a 5 year relationship. Uh, we didn't live together. We weren't engaged. We weren't married. Just we don't have any kids together. Hell no. But I had a 5 year relationship with the same person. Oops. Sorry, y'all. I'm hitting buttons in my car accidentally. Oops. Let me just put my arm down while I'm moving things. But I had a 5 year relationship that ended, technically speaking, last year. It is still ending, I guess. But anyway, so the other night, my ex actually sent me a text message saying that he hoped I was good and me and the kids were good. And I was just like, okay, like, he wasn't involved with my children. So I don't even understand why he's sending me a text message asking me about any damn thing. But anyway, so I did reply. And this is kind of open. I replied last night, and it's kind of opened up the floodgates. So I'm going through it. I may be a little emotional today, but y'all, like I said, on my channel, we just keep it real. We talk about life, we talk about love, we talk about, events. Right now, I'm on a dating journey because, again, I'm single, and I've gone through a lot of self help and therapy trying to deal with my breakup because a breakup is traumatic. And so I just thought I'd come on here and do this video because I just feel bad for arguing back and forth with this person. And I know my best friend is gonna kill me because she was like, "Don't feed into a girl. Don't argue with." You know how your friends be like, "Girl, don't," because once I open the floodgates, then it's open. Because I don't like to argue, but once I get on a roll, it's hard for me to quit. Shit, I'm a Cancer. Like if you're a Cancer out there, shout out. Antagonistic. Anyway, like, share, subscribe to the video. Put comments below about your experience with cancers. No, I mean your breakup. But being a Cancer, we kind of feed into to the BS, and I don't want to feed into the BS, but I have. It's too late. I'm already on the BS gravy train. I just sent him a text message like 10 minutes ago. Like I said, full disclosure, I shouldn't have did it. I regret it, God. Um, but there was a few, but we've been arguing over text. Okay, we don't argue in person or over the phone like normal people. My ex likes to argue over text because he's toxic and dysfunctional. That's the best way I can put it to you. Because normal people don't argue over text. So I keep telling them that normal people, talk out their issues. That's kind of like what adults and human beings do. They don't argue over text. They don't argue over Anyway, they don't argue over text message. That's what 15-year-olds do. That's not what grown people in their 40s and 50s do. That's just not what people do. But apparently my ex thinks this is normal. I think that shit is normal. It's not. But anyway, so I would say come on here. I'm not gonna try to drone on because I'm gonna probably make another video about another topic. Um but we're gonna talk about what I've learned the most about my relationship. So my relationship of 5 years, I decided to end it because my ex was doing some things, and I won't get into all of the things, but let's just get into the gist of it. The gist of it is that my ex, when I needed him, he was not there for me. If y'all watch 90 Day Fiance and y'all watch Jamie and Chris, then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, we didn't live long distance. We weren't in a long distance international relationship, and we're definitely not two lesbian women. But um, we only live like 45 minutes to an hour away from each other. But if you know the story situation between Jamie and Chris on 90 Day, is that Chris would disappear and then pop up like it ain't nothing. My ex used to do that. Not with Chris and Jamie. Chris would disappear for weeks, months on end, and then pop up. I didn't have that experience. Now my ex did not disappear that long, but my ex would disappear for a couple of days and then pop up and make some lame excuse like it was nothing, and that always give me the side eye. So if y'all don't know the story of 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Fiance is a reality show, and they had a couple named Jamie and Chris. These ladies, and Jamie lived in Venezuela or something, Argentina, and then she met a lady here, and then like when they was talking, like when they first started talking, the lady in America, Chris, she would disappear. Like she would disappear for months at a time. And then at one time, Jamie got a text message from some dude saying that she was with him. And I kind of get it because they lived in a different country. But then, like, once her and Jamie got together and they actually got married, and then Chris came back to America, she disappeared again. Like, that's supposed to be your whole wife. And then she, like, didn't talk to her for months because I guess because they got in an argument. I don't know what the excuse was. But a lot of people thought that Chris was on drugs. That because the way she looked and the way she acted and the disappearing and the lying, because you could tell Chris was lying and she was really overly defensive about shit. So I kind of felt that story because that's how my relationship was. Like in the beginning, it wasn't like that, but it kind of, but not really. But then as time went on, things deteriorated with us. Um, my ex went out of town and he worked out of town and every during the pandemic and everything was good. At least on my end, everything was good. And he came back. We would go out of town here and there for the pandemic, and I would drive to go see him. And he was here, living here. Like then during the pandemic, he had to go find work in other places, which is understandable. And then so when he came back for good, I was overjoyed that he was back for good. Like I was like, hey, I get to have him back full time. And then when he came back, to me, everything changed 2 years ago. Everything changed when he came back. I felt like in 2021, the person that came back from out of town was not the person that I fell in love with. Like, I don't know what happened while he was out of town. I have no idea. But and then that's when the shaky ass behavior started. That's when the disappearing started. That's when just I could go on and on about what happened, but um I'm a person that have acute abandonment issues. Like I have abandonment issues in my childhood. Y'all know from my videos, I tell y'all that I was raised by my grandmother. I was not raised by my parents. I didn't get with my parents again until my 30s, and then my mother lived with me until she passed away in April. But I spent most of all my formative years and my young years being raised by my grandmother, and she was the most awesomest person influence in my life ever. Um, a lot of stuff that happened to me when I was a toddler, I've just heard bits and pieces and I won't get into it. Nothing like abuse. I wasn't abused as a kid, not that I know of. And, but just neglect. So, there's a whole story behind that and I won't get into that right now. So abandonment and non-consistency is kind of a trigger for me. And I never knew what was the source of that until I started going to therapy and understanding that I have avoidant attachment issues, probably stemming from childhood, but also stemming from some of the relationships that I've had. So we're talking about childhood trauma and adult onset, adult traumas, because the relationships that I have had in the past were not were very toxic and dysfunctional. So my relationship, that was one of the aspects of it, is that when I needed this person, they were not here for me. And so I've given this person ample opportunity, even while we've been broken up, to do things for me to try to come back in my life because I love this person. Unfortunately, I do have feelings for this person. I mean, you can't be with somebody for 5 years and then not have feelings for this person. And I do have feelings for this person. I do love this person and care about this person. It You can tell that it does still affect me and hurt me. Um, I don't know if it will ever get any better. Like I still love my husband. Like, when I lost my husband, um, that was trauma. That was very traumatic, me losing my husband. 9 years ago. I'll never get over that. I'll live 1,000 years and never get over the fact that my husband is dead. I'll never being a widow is not my idea of fun. It's just not. It's not. But um, so my ex was like the first real relationship that I had, like serious relationship that I had. I dated other guys just for fun because I wasn't ready. And really, when I met my ex, I wasn't really ready to be in a relationship. He convinced me. He told me he wanted a family and he had a son and I have children and he wanted a family. And I told him, we'll take it slow. And we took it real, real slow because years later, we still had not integrated our families. My children, for the longest time, didn't even know I had a boyfriend. I've said this before because I didn't want to hurt them. It is different when, um, especially my oldest, it is different when your kids have a father or a mother out there and they may not be in their lives, but they know they got a father and mother out there, even if they're not in their life. But it's different when the the father and mother of your child dies, and that's a whole different ball game, because if things don't work out in your relationship, your kid don't have another parent to fall back on. Like, to them it's just loss after loss, and I didn't want to put my kids through that. That's the main reason why my kids were not involved with my ex. And so, yeah, I've done everything in my heart and my mind possible to protect my children. If my kids was really involved with my ex and the way our relationship ended, my kids would have been devastated and I would have been devastated. I would have hurt for them, and then knowing that I lost my mother, I mean, them losing their mother, me losing my mom was hard enough. But then my relationship fell apart before that. And then when I give this person an ample opportunity to be back in my life again, he betrays me again. Like he still didn't, again. So I that's kind of the backstory of what I'm going on. So what I've learned through my relationship is that you can have a traumatic experience in a relationship, and it doesn't mean that someone has to put their hands on you or someone has to violate you sexually in order for you to be traumatized and abused. My therapist told me that my relationship was is tra- was traumatic. The idea that you're with somebody and then they disappear for a couple days and then show back up, that was never good for anybody, period, but much less for me, who has a history of parental, my parents not being there. For me having a history, for me being a widow, like, just imagine your spouse dies on you and then you finally let yourself, go be with somebody in a serious way. Like, this is your first serious relationship. And then that relationship ended. That is traumatic, period. That's hard. That's tough. It's hard for me. And I have to be gentle with myself and give myself time and let myself heal, because it has not been easy. It's not been easy losing my mother. It's not been me losing my cat that my husband gave me. I lost that this year. It is not being easy. Me losing my aunt last year, losing my father the year before that. Like, it has not been easy. It is. I have losing my husband 9 years ago. Um, losing my daughter's grandmother. Um, that was about 6 years ago. Like, it has not been easy, being me sometimes. And I have a great, fabulous life. I have a wonderful career. I have financial stability. I have, great people. I have my YouTube channel. I have you guys. But the sense of loss, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for me. And then Like I said, just when I think that everything was over and done, and here comes my ex popping up like a damn zombie. But yes, the biggest lesson I've learned is that trauma and toxic relationships doesn't necessarily have to involve physical or psychological abuse. My ex never talked down to me. My ex never, called me out my name. He never like, you know, uh emotionally, abuse me. Physically, no. He never did nothing like that. He wasn't controlling or jealous or punching a hole in a wall or kicking my cat. He didn't have anger issues. He didn't steal from me. Like, I didn't have none of the stuff that, people like, to me, real stuff. But from what I learned is that psychological abuse is real. Like, it is real. So I tell people out there who think they just went through a breakup and, oh, well, this person, they didn't steal from me, they didn't beat me, they didn't, they didn't hurt my children, they didn't kick my dog. So, it's just a breakup. But what the person did during the relationship can be traumatic, can affect you. And I never really thought about that way. I just thought like, oh, we broke up and I broke up with him because da 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 da. But then, I had somebody, I was encouraged to talk about it. How did you feel when this person would disappear? Well, I felt horrible. I felt bad. Why did you feel bad? Because I felt abandoned. Yeah, I felt abandoned. Wow, it didn't dawn on me. I felt abandoned. Like, yeah, I did. I felt lied to. I felt hurt. I felt like I wasn't it like being in this relationship affect my sense of self-worth, self-being. And like I tell people, that happens and that's okay. I mean, it's not okay that you feel that way, but it's okay for you to know that it's not anything unusual for you to have feelings like this during a breakup or a separation or a divorce or anything like that. That it's not okay um for somebody to treat you like this and not apologize. My ex has never really like formally like came out and apologized and being and us really sitting down and having a conversation. I have this person that keeps trying to come back in and out of my life, in and out of my life, but I told him there's no repercussion and there's no consequences for him trying to do this really. And what I mean by that, I mean there's no contriment. There's no I'm sorry, Kiki. I apologize. Let's sit down and have a real conversation about this shit. I'm like, if you real and you really trying to be in my life, it shouldn't be through a text message. It shouldn't be, let me text and see. I mean, yeah, you may put the feelers out to see if the person's gonna respond, but then once I respond, it should be like, let's sit down like adults. Let's go out and meet somewhere and let's have a conversation. Like if you really trying to be in my life, then I need some answers. There are certain things that I'm just like, okay, I know you lying. I know the truth of the situation, but he doesn't want to admit it to me. And like I said, I'm not trying to put people's business out there, but some of y'all already know. Y'all have heard me speak on this before. And just like with Jamie and Chris, if you know that situation where Chris was accused of, then you know what I'm talking about. That is what I'm dealing with. So it's not like I'm dealing with just a normal breakup and a normal person. I'm dealing with a person who has mental health issues and other issues. So, I'm the type of person that like I can fight through anything. If I love you, I will be there through thick, through thin, through the rain, through all of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm down for you, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? I'm down. I'm down for life. Like you, my friend, I'm gonna help you bury the bodies in the backyard and be like, I don't know what happened to him, girl. I don't know. Shoot, don't ask me. I don't know. Like I'm a loyal friend. I'm a loyal girlfriend. I never cheated. I never lied to my ex. I never did none of that. And honestly, in all our relationship, none of this was on me. And so he proceeded to try to gaslight me and try to change the subject. No, no, no. That's not what we're not going to do is change the subject. No, we're going to go back to the subject. We're going to go back because he'll try to shift the narrative and be like, well, I tried to talk to you, but you would never talk to me. You think I'm a monster. That's not what we're talking about. Let's go back. The point is, Why is it that when I needed you, you weren't there? Why were you disappearing and making up excuses? What was happening? What was going on? Don't try to shift the blame or change the subject or try to gaslight me and be like, well, then that's what he tries to do. And he's been successful with it when we were together in the past, changing the subject and changing the narrative. We're not changing the subject and changing the narrative, not today. No, we're going back to reason why we're not together is because of his behavior. We have had ample time over the past year and a half for us to get back together, and I've tried to give him chance after chance after chance to the point where I was like, F it, I'm done with it. Because it's an easy fix. It's nothing hard. It's nothing I'm asking for crazy stuff. I just want to sit down and have a conversation. That's number one. I just want to sit down and have a conversation. Number two, an honest conversation. Let me put it that way. Number two, I just I just action speaks louder than words. A person can say whatever they want to say, but action speaks louder than words. So I would have to see some actions. Like I would have to see you're not going to do the same stuff that you're going to do before. And number three, I don't want to be lonely in no relationship. So that's another caveat. Nobody should ever feel alone. And I felt very alone in my relationship where I'm out going to events, going on vacation, doing things with my girlfriends, doing things out by myself, doing things with my kids with but I had a man of 5 years. How do you have a boyfriend for years and then come holidays, y'all not really spending holidays together? Y'all not going on vacation together. I have to hound and badger you to go here because you just want to sit at home and Netflix and chill and you don't want to spend any quality time. I like quality time, y'all. I'm a very active, engaging person. I'm not expecting people to be all in and all that. But, spending quality time is part of a relationship. Having date nights is part of keeping the relationship interesting. And we used to do that. It's not like I'm asking for things to be changed that ain't never happened. Our relationship did not start out like that. That's not the person I got with. That's not the person I wanted. That's not the person I fell in love with. The person I fell in love with was fun. The person I fell in love with would be like, hey, let's go here, let's go there, fun places, adult places we would go. I mean, to keep the fires brewing. If y'all know what that means, I ain't trying to put that all of my business out there, but there's adult places we would go to keep it interesting. There was things that we used to do to keep it interesting, emotionally, mentally, and intimacy wise. And then like 3 years went by and everything was good, and he came back from out of town, and it was just like, okay, so I expect us to pick our lives up where we ended. You've been out of town for year and a half, off and on. Okay, now you back permanently. Great. He got a promotion. He was making more money. I expect our lives, we can really start planning out our life. We can really start making moves and plans since I know you're here permanently. So let's talk about us possibly living together, about us getting a house together. Let's talk about us going on vacation together. Now, since we have the time, and then I started working from home, and I'm like, okay, I got lots of free time now. And I understand that he worked, a regular schedule and sometimes 6 days a week. But I was like, okay, now we can really get our lives together. And none of that happened, y'all. None of that happened. All of us talk. Okay, yeah, I guess. I mean, it wasn't even no excitement like about, it wasn't even talk. I would bring it up. So are we going to talk about what we're doing? What is happening? Well, yeah, I'm just trying to get to work. But then like fast forward a whole year or two went by and I'm like, so what are we doing? Like, this is going to be our life forever? I didn't want to be us dating and going, seeing each other and spending the night over his house. That's cool. But I wanted us to have more of a commitment. It's been 5 years. We should be moving on to the next segment of our lives. We didn't made it through the damn pandemic. We didn't got laid off from our jobs. We survived through that. We've made it. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's safe. This, it's before my mother died. So last year I was like, I'm going to need more out of this relationship. I'm going to need more from you. I'm going to need more that I should have asked a long time ago. But now we're in a situation financially and mentally and emotionally that I think now it's time for us to start bringing our lives together. And ladies and gentlemen, when the moment I started saying that, it hit different. Motherfuckers start switching things up, like the behavior changed. It was like, well, then he got more and more distant from me, more and more distant. We didn't grow together. He just seemed to get more distant. And then the more things I did without him, the more resentful he came. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not putting my life on hold because you don't want to do anything. Like, why should I put my life on hold? I'm still gonna go on vacation with my kids. I'm still gonna do this. I'm still gonna do that. I was during the pandemic. I made really, really, really good money. Like, I had my online shops was popping, and then I got a job working from home. And so I was like, this is me living my best life. You baby, this is my best life right now. I've never been so unstressed. I've usually been stressed over money, over my career. I don't have that now. So I'm like, now since all of that is out of the way and my kids are a little bit older, you know, I'm like, we can now like just the world is ours. Like, baby, we can step out and we can go do us, and the world is our. He just wants to sit at home and watch TV all the time. I'm just like, so this is what we doing? Yeah, I'm tired. No, you're not tired because you're tired. You're tired because you're smoking weed all day. You're tired because you want to eat bad food and you didn't gain like 30 pounds since we've been together. That's the tiredness. So, and I could see him eating more and his health deteriorating. And then to me, just seemed like the person, the vivacious person that I fell in love with, the person that I used to joke with, the person that was literally like my best friend, changed into to this person that we barely talked. And I'm like, and every once in a while there'll be a glimmer of that person, but it was just like, like a dullness behind. Like, it was just that person that he is right now is not the person that I fell in love with. It's not the person that I had fun with. It's not that person. I don't know who this person is. The person that I knew, that I trusted, would not have done would not have done the shit that he did. Would not have hurt me the way he hurt me. He said he was gonna be there for when my mama come help me. I desperately needed somebody. Y'all know I moved during the summer. Y'all know my mama died in April, and I needed some. I couldn't even go into her room, y'all. Like, I couldn't even go into her room. So my kids, we couldn't go in there because my mama died at my house, and so like I walked by her room and just I couldn't go in there, and so I needed help. And I didn't ask him for help. He volunteered. He's like, "What you need to do?" I said, "Well, I need somebody to come clear my mama's room because I don't." I'm sorry, y'all. I said, "I don't want to go in there. I can't go in my mama's room." Like, I watched my mama die, y'all. I found my mama dead in her room. And so I didn't want to go in there. Like, the paramedics had tore up the room trying to save her life, and then I didn't want to go in there. Like, I was terrified. Like, I didn't even want to stay in the house for a while because I was so scared about going in that room, and I didn't want to be in there. So he volunteered. I didn't ask him. I was just on the phone, like, just telling him, like, "Oh, I don't know, I gotta have somebody to come help." And I didn't ask him, and he volunteered to come and help me clear out the room. And then he was like, "I'll be there Saturday." And then, there's some stuff that needed to be packed and stuff we needed to be done, in the house. Cause, I found out, like, my mama's room sat like that for 2 weeks before I didn't really know what to do. But I was like, I got to go clean this room. I got to clean out her closet. And he volunteered to come help. And then y'all told my kids, okay, he going to be here on Saturday. And y'all didn't say he didn't show up, y'all. He didn't show up. And I texted him and called him. He didn't call me back. And my kids could see that I was upset. And they had never seen me upset before. Because anytime I ever been upset with him, I kind of like hid it, or my mom was there as a buffer. Or I would take off and leave. But I can't take off and leave my kids now by themselves. And my kids could tell me I'm upset, especially my daughter. She looked at me and she's like, "Mama, you okay?" And I was trying to tell her that Mark's supposed to show up. He didn't show up. And so my kids are were angry. And they was like, how he gonna do us like that? Like, why would he? They could see the hurt in my face and my eyes. And then I just went to my room and I just cried. I just cried. One of my exes, One of my exes actually came and helped me. One of my exes. So, you know, that was traumatic. Like that still, you can tell it still hurts me. And so I just, I couldn't forgive that. Like, and then he had the nerve to call me on Tuesday and be like, "Oh, well, I took some Benadryl and I had a bad allergic reaction." Okay, you couldn't text me and call me. This has happened before. And I'm like, you can text me, you can call me and tell me. But I'm like, I needed you. Like, I didn't ask you to come help me. You volunteered. I needed you. Like, my mom loved my ex. Like, they was cool. Like, that was like her other son. Like, my mama thought that we was gonna get married and we was gonna be together forever. And he was always, she'd be like, "Oh, Mark ain't going nowhere. Da, 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 da. Y'all'll be together. Y'all be fucking with each other forever." That's what my mama thought. My mama loved. My mama didn't like nobody. My mama liked my late husband. She liked him. But I think my mama even liked. I think I hate to say it, God rest his soul, but I think my mama even liked my ex better than she liked my late husband. I think she had more in common with um my ex. Like they'd go out to the garage and talk and hang out and kick it and my mama loved him. And I told him, I was like, my mama loved you. My mama would die. Like she would never think that he would have just not shown up and that and that like hurt me. And so one of my exes came and I called my ex and I was like in tears and he's like, and I hadn't talked to my ex and he wasn't an ex, he's a dude I used to date. Okay, this dude has moved on with his life and everything. He saw me post something on Facebook about my mama died and so he contacted me and he was like, "Oh my God, how you doing?" Da, 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 da. And he's like, "Here's my number, call me." And he like, I was like crying and I was like, "Chris, oh my God, like, I got my mom's room. It's been like 3 weeks. I'm not going in this room, but I need to, but I don't want to go." And he was like, "When you want me to come over? I'll tell you, this is the day I'll come over and help you." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he came over and helped me. He cleared up. He got him and he helped cleared up my mama's and he cleared my mom's room. He came out one day and he spent like 3 hours. Um, And bless him. I'll never. I told him I'll never forget that because he didn't have to do that. We had not even talked, but he felt so bad for me that I was so distraught. And I was like, my ex is supposed to come out and help me. He didn't help me and did it. And he was like, and he ain't like he never liked my ex anyway. So it's a long story about that. But because I was kind of like dating him, like when I dumped him for my ex. And so he came out and helped me. There wasn't no hanky panky involved. There wasn't no nothing like that. He came and helped me. So I was appreciative. But yeah, my ex was supposed to come help me and he didn't. And then he showed then 3 days later he called talking about well no, he didn't call, baby. He texted talking about, well, I had a allergic reaction and been injured. You didn't call. You didn't text me. You didn't let me know what was going on. Like I could have rescheduled. After that I was done. And so I've been done until October when again, October, this person contacted me again and was like, "How you doing?" Da 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 da. And I was like, "Okay." I started talking to him, and I was drunk one. I'm being, I was tipsy one night, and I text messaged him back because he text messaged me talking about he missed me and blah blah blah. So then we tried to get together again, and then you know we got together again. We had dinner. Everything was cool. We was talking, and then boom, the motherfucker disappeared again. Then I didn't hear from him for like 2, 3 days. And then he come back talking about, "Oh, well, I got really sick and did it." Y'all, I'm not lying. Like I said, you know what? Don't fucking talk to me. This was October. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't talk to me. I told him to fuck off. Why would you do this to me? Like, Why would you text message me talking about I miss you and I love you and I want to be with you, and then we start talking for 2 weeks, and then we go out and we have fun, and that everything was copacetic, and then it's cool, we gonna talk it out, and then boom, your bitch ass disappear again. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here again. So now that was October. So now it's December. No, Thanksgiving. He text messaged me talking about blah, 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 blah. I said, I was out of town Thanksgiving. I said, I don't want to hear it. Bye. Be gone. I don't want to hear it. So now come December, the other day at 7:38 p.m., I get the text message of, I hope you and kids are good. Oh, hey, talking about, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You know, I just don't know. I just don't know. Like again, and then like I said, I wouldn't go say anything. And my sister-in-law was like, don't say nothing, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. But I'm like, you know what? I got time, cuz. So I had time. And so we've been arguing since last night. And I'm like, Lord have mercy, I didn't fell down the rabbit hole here again. And it's, and I don't, we'll see how the day goes, because I don't want to keep on arguing, y'all. I really don't. Like, I really, I really don't want to keep on arguing. I really don't. And so I don't want to do that. But like I said, I just feel that this too is traumatic. So, the lesson for today is that I learned that you don't have to experience any kind of physical or verbal assaults or SA in order to be in a traumatic, abusive situation. And some people will try to minimize what I have to say, but it's just the truth. Some people try to minimize that, but it's just the truth. I tell people all the time, I had no idea either. Because I'm thinking that trauma and abuse is just, trauma is something that you experience when you go through something really, really, really serious, like life threatening, life dangerous. No, trauma doesn't necessarily have to be that, y'all. And then if you are experiencing a hard time going through a breakup, because breakups are hard, I would suggest people get help. Real help, not self-help, not twin flame help, real help through a psychologist. Like, I suggest you go to therapy and get help and have somebody to talk to. Um, but take care of yourself. Like, I've learned that I'm not as tough as I think I am. Like mentally and emotionally, um, I'm tough. But I sometimes I realize I don't have to be. I don't have to be as tough as I think I am. I don't have to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. And it's just you just have to give yourself time to heal. And I've learned to be in the now and be in the present and not in the past. Not to go back to the past and get upset over things that have already happened, already transpired, and learn to just tell my story and then take a deep breath and just let it go. Breathe, stretch, shake, let it go. I had to let it go. And like I said, when I talk about these things, I get real emotional and upset because it still hurts me, and I have to learn that that's okay. Like, you can't be with somebody for years and years and years and think that within months you're gonna heal. And then for me, it's even harder because every time I'm trying to heal and move on and heal and move on and heal and move on, then this person comes back like a zombie or a gremlin. He's like, "Ah, bitch, you thought I was gone," So it's hard to do that. My sister-in-law's like, just block his number and move on. Just block and move on. And I should do that, but I just think that, like, he's eventually gonna, like, move on with his life, and then I saw him on the dating app yesterday when I was on Hinge, and I saw him on the dating app, and so I was like, Lord, and I didn't do anything. I just X'd and moved on. But I'm like, why would you be on a dating app when he's not even ready to be in a relationship with me? And I'm so easy. Like, I did everything right in my relationship. I was loyal. I didn't cheat. I was attentive. We had lots of physical intimacy. It wasn't anything like that. It was just him constantly fucking shit up. Like it was just him. I've given him chance after chance after chance. And I told him this time I'm not going to do it. And this is the reasons why I'm not going to do it. Because you are not good for me. You have damaged my spirit. You have played, with my feelings and my emotions. That's how I feel. He may feel differently, and you haven't apologized. You haven't made amends. I'm not dealing with nobody that's not apologizing or making amends or trying to sit down and have a conversation with me and explain to me what is happening. I'm not getting back with anybody ever again, because there's times where I've gotten back together with people. It don't happen very often, but where we did not have that conversation, and the conversation should have been had. With me and my ex, when we broke up the first time, we were together for about 10 months, and we broke up the first time, and then there was some fuckery going on. I won't get into that, but then we got back together like a year later. And so before we even got back together, started talking, there should have been a conversation. It should have been healing then. It should have been putting the demons and things to rest and laying the blueprint and the foundation for this second term in our relationship. But we never did that, and that's his fault and mine. So that's both of our fault on that one. But a discussion should have been had. Communication should have been had. But my ex is a bad communicator. I'm a good communicator. He's a horrible communicator. And so, you know, things should have been worked out and hashed out before we got back together. And so now I'm like, if you want to get back together with me, if you want to be in my life, then we need to work this shit out. Things have to be discussed in person, not through text, not over the fucking telephone. We have to sit down like grown ass people that we are and have a conversation over dinner, in public, in private, whatever it want to be. Us to sit down face to face and have a discussion about, what do you want? What do I want? What are we doing? What are we not doing? What I don't want to see, what you don't want to see, and have a discussion like grown, adult, competent people. But talking over text like my ex do it is not, that's not it, boo. So until I heal that trauma, until I feel like, I can move on away from the past, I can't get back together with this person. I don't really want to be in a relationship with somebody. I would date somebody, but not to be in a serious relationship until I can move past certain things, and get rid of this person once and for all, out of my life, which I have control over that and I take full responsibility for. And because I don't want to be sitting here next year going through the same shit I've been going through for a whole year. I don't want to sit here and have this person in and out my life for years to come. I don't want to be in that situation. We both either need to figure it out and be together, or just need to leave each other and just, he need to leave me alone and move the hell on. I don't bother him. I don't text message him. He needs to move on and leave me alone. Like I said, I don't trust it. I don't know the reason why he's texting me. Like I said, I don't know if he's lonely, if he's bored, if he's horny. I don't know what it is. But I'm not going to be in the end of it because, you know, to me, love is an action. To me, love is actions. A person can say they love you all day, and this person does say they love me and they miss me. That's fine, but you're not actions. What are you going to do to show me that you love me and you miss me and you want to be with me? How are you going to make amends for the shit that you have messed up? And not promises with words, but put shit to action and let me know that you're serious. Anybody can say, yeah, I'm serious, and let's get back together and let's talk and da 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 da. But then if it doesn't happen, then it's not real. And so if things don't happen, I would say in y'all relationships, if you are thinking about getting back together with an ex, contemplating getting back together with an ex, y'all really need to sit down and have a conversation. And I mean a conversation, not a conversation that involves physical intimacy, not that kind of conversation, but a real conversation where no physical intimacy is involved, and things need to be, not argued about, but calmly and rationally talked about. And what's your expectations, and how do you think things should go for you to move together? It shouldn't be like, oh, we back together all suddenly. Things should slowly move and merge into, dating first and getting to know each other again. Just depends on how long y'all been broke up. But, and having this person in each one of you prove that you're going to put the effort, and you're willing to do what it takes to keep this person in your life. That takes work. It takes time. It takes work. But if you both really, 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 really love each other, and if you both are willing to make it happen, it's going to happen. I mean, I've seen people get back together. I've seen people get divorced and get back together. But it has to be conscious effort on both parties. One person can't be doing everything while the other person just sit back and be like, "Yeah, this is gonna be like it was before." That's not how it's gonna go for me, and it shouldn't have to go for anybody else. So, in order to take somebody seriously, things have to change. Things have to be done in a different way. The reason why y'all broke up, you need to ascertain that, and then work to avoid those pitfalls and traps, and let a person know this is what I'm going to do. This is what, and have a game plan. So many people get back together and they just fall back into it emotionally and they don't really have a plan. I would say have a plan. I'm a planner. I don't do things willy nilly, or I wake up in the morning, oh, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm not all woo woo like that. I'm not a woo woo. I'm plot planning, logical. So there needs to be some sort of game plan. For me, that's how I do things in order to make me feel comfortable, because I'm not, time is precious, y'all. I've lost a lot of people, and I understand that time is precious. Like we don't have all the time in the world to try to figure out our lives or try to figure shit out. That's how I live my life. I'm not impatient, but then I kind of am impatient. I'm kind of like, just get to the point. Let's just get down to the get down, because life is short, and it is too short to be fussing and fighting and arguing. It's too short to be going back and forth, back and forth. If you want to do something, make the decision, think about what you're going to do, and make it happen, no matter what it is in life. And when it comes to relationships, when you have somebody good in your life, I have to say this. This is why I'm going to end this video. If you have somebody good in your life, keep that person. Good people are hard to find. I'm telling you, dealing with the stuff that I went with my ex, good people are hard to find. So I would say, if you have somebody good in your life and it's just little issues and little problems, there's nothing really like traumatic, and maybe y'all just don't have the meeting of the minds of certain things, then I would say communicate, 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 and try to work it out. Because, you know, it when you got somebody who loves you and they in your corner, I feel like anything can be worked out. Cheating is not the answer. Lying is not the answer. Deception is not the answer. It's never the answer. If you're going to do all that, then y'all just break up and move on. But I do firmly believe that communication solves most of the problems in relationships. But people just get scared, and they scared to like speak their truth. They're scared how the other person's going to react, or what they're going to say, or is it going to cause an argument. Walk into that shit. Walk into your truth fearless. Just be like, hey, I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to try to say this tactfully as possible, and I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. And if the person gets angry, that's on them. If they get offended, that's on them. And I'll try to talk to them, but if they don't want to listen, that's on them. So I'm fixing to hit this gym, y'all. I didn't rattle on enough, but I just had to tell you that like the biggest thing I learned from my relationship is that trauma comes in all forms and shapes and sizes and differences, and that if it affects you enough to where it affects your well-being, it affects your peace, it affects your self-worth and your self-esteem, then that is a traumatic situation, and then you need to find some help and need to find a way out, and do some healing. So y'all have a good Saturday, and I'm out. Peace.